So in the lathe, I've got a Cush drive hub chucked up. This is from a late 80s Honda XR250L. The R model does not have a Cush drive. And I've done this conversion before. If you machine the hub correctly, you can install one of these wheels on an XR600 from the 90s. I wanted a Cush drive on my 92 XR600. Did some research, and if you get a wheel from a late 80s, early 90s, I don't know the exact years, XR250L, you can have a Cush drive, but the wheel assembly is too wide, so you have to machine a portion of the outer Cush drive off, and then you have to make new axle spacers for it. So anyway, I've removed the outer seal. I've left the bearing in there, and basically I'm going to machine off the surface where the seal was. And I realize this is not ideal to do away with a seal. Basically we'll just run a sealed bearing in here instead, which I think it is from the factory. But anyway, I'm just going to machine, I don't know, the width of that seal, 1/4 inch or so off of this hub, and then basically we'll be able to clear the stock swing arm of an XR600R. So anyway, here we go. done machining. I just left a slight lip past the existing bearing, so anyway, this thing's ready to go now. I'm just making a spare, basically. I have an existing setup on the bike. It works great. So anyway, this is all machined, and now I got to pull that bearing out and put a new bearing in there before I reuse it. But anyway, I was making a spare. And another bit of information, sprocket selection is not as good on the XR250L, so this will require you to run either a custom sprocket or a smaller diameter sprocket with less teeth. So just be aware. I was kind of setting my bike up more for highway use, so I didn't mind stepping down in sprocket size since I was putting a Cush drive on it anyway. Alright, back already. I forgot to tell you something. So anyway, the sprocket on this bike still uses the same type of chain, so you can still use your 520 chain, although the length will be different with a smaller sprocket. But more importantly, the brake rotor on this wheel is the same diameter, so you can just use the XR250L brake rotor, and the rim's the same. So anyway, it's almost a direct swap once you machine everything properly. The other thing is, on the front sprocket, the alignment will be a little off on the chain. And when I got my bike, it had a clip holding the front sprocket on, basically allowing it to move side to side anyway, instead of the bolt-on retainer. And so you do need to use that clip instead of the bolt-on retainer, or you have chain alignment issues. So I've had this set up on my bike now for over 2 years with no issues. So anyways, it does take a bit of work and finagling, but it is very much possible. And I just machined, last time I machined from scratch steel bar stock the wheel spacers. So I have 2 sets. I have the stock set so I can run my stock wheel, and then I have the basically narrowed set to run the 250 wheel. So alright, anyway, that's it for real this time. Thanks guys.